Well, Mark, it's nice to catch up with you again. And I understand congratulations are in order for becoming a partner with KPMG in the UK. Congratulations.
Thanks, Rodney. Yeah, it was great to get promoted to partner at the end of last year. I've been with KPMG UK about 17 years now, working in our international advisory team. And it's a really exciting time. Lots of things going on with our businesses and our clients. It's really great achievement.
Well, that's really interesting. And what area do you end up focusing your efforts in?
Yeah, so the team that I lead and I'm based in London are focused on mainly privately held and inbound multinational groups. In particular, a lot of fast-growing scale-up businesses, a lot of clients in the tech sector and fintech. And what we really try and do is help both UK-headed groups who want to expand rapidly internationally, and also international groups that want to come to the UK, and also groups that want to use the UK as a hub for places like Europe, and really help them get their international structures right.
Really interesting, Mark. That has to keep you busy. Now, I'm curious, as you talk to folk, what are the biggest issues that they're focused on that they see as high impact to them at the moment?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, most of our clients are aware of some of the big issues going on, like BEPS2 and ESG. I think for a lot of our clients in the mid-market space, probably there are some slightly different themes that I see coming through. So one theme we see a lot is our clients are often scaling very quickly, but actually in a remote way where they don't have a key center of gravity in one country. Their C-suite and the key people within the business can be spread across 5-6 different countries, and even most of their workforce working from home. And that's actually really interesting when you're trying to help them start to plan their international structure. Probably secondly, for our slightly more long-standing clients, they are now really starting to see the impact of Brexit. And we obviously had Brexit quite a while back, but COVID and the impact that COVID had on sort of keeping people working from home and in their country without travel, and also, not having as much a need for movement of goods and things like that between cross-border, really delayed the businesses starting to think about some of the tax issues and logistical issues that they were going to have following Brexit. And so that's now really starting to come to the fore as the economies start to open up. I saw in the news today that actually we're in the UK relaxing our travel restrictions again. So I think that's probably going to really accelerate coming through. I think third, probably related to that, opening up the economies, is still lots and lots of M&A activity. That through the UK, KPMG UK, we've really seen a lot of our clients getting ready for exits, raising capital, and also looking to buy and acquire other businesses to help them scale. And as I said at the beginning, I think probably the fourth theme is the knock-on impact of some of the bigger international tax developments like BEPS on the mid-market. A lot of the clients are still below the sort of global thresholds.
Yep.
But actually, the direction of travel is really starting to shape their thinking as they plan for the future.
So really interesting, Mark. So 4 big areas, right?
Yeah.
Scaling remotely, dealing with Brexit, transactional activity, and knock-on effects of BEPS 2.0. Let's just pick up on a couple of those because I'm intrigued. Tell me a bit more about the sort of things that people are focusing on when they think about scaling up the business.
Yeah, it's really exciting because it's helping quite different businesses than we might have historically worked with. Think through, okay, they want to get the best talent, and the people driving those businesses are not thinking about our traditional rules around permanent establishments, payroll, working in countries for employers in that country. And so the businesses are having to think about, how can I get the best talent? How can I then develop my IP? But the tax teams are then trying to think, well, how does that overlay with what transfer pricing model we want to set up, or where for tax purposes we want to create that value within the IP that the business is developing. And what what we're really trying to help the clients think through is the balance between, if you're scaling business, you don't want to create so much friction, regulation, compliance within the business that actually it prevents you from scaling. But at the same time, you need to make sure that, as you might be preparing for a funding round or as you're growing and trying to raise capital, actually you don't want a big tail of sort of tax issues and sort of nexus issues where you've put footprints all over the world as you've sort of started to scale up. So striking that balance between planning, tax efficiency, and then compliance is really interesting for clients.
So that's really interesting, Mark. And I can only imagine that's kind of like let's focus on the business first and go from there. And to that end, you mentioned Brexit. And I know Brexit happened, gosh, it feels like an age ago. Tell me a bit more about why that's front and center in people's minds at the moment.
Yes, definitely. What we saw with Brexit was quite often businesses had to react quite quickly. So, a lot of UK businesses set up subsidiaries in Europe because they needed it for a regulatory reason or they needed it to be able to import goods. And so they've got these subsidiaries in Europe. But now, as people are starting to travel more and as this turns more to business as usual, clients are thinking, well, how do I actually manage those entities? Because if they're very UK-centric businesses, it could be quite easy from a commercial perspective, just as I was mentioning earlier, everything being done remotely, things are all just getting done here in the UK. But as we all know, international tax rules, you need to think about where those businesses are going to be centrally managed and controlled. And with things like ATAD 3 coming down the line, we need to think about what are the substance of these companies going to be. And, that's really important for groups because the commercial side is making, they need these entities, but at the same time, we've got to think about, from a tax perspective, what do these structures mean for businesses and how can they maintain them?
So that's really interesting, Mark. So really, you focused on a couple of things that are really highly impactful to clients in terms of what's going on with the business. So those are fascinating. And I really look forward to catching up with you, Mark, again, to talk about the other couple of matters, transactional activity and the knock-on effect from BEPS. But till then, again, I'd like to congratulate you on your promotion. And I look forward to catching up with you again in person now that the UK has lifted its travel restrictions.
Thanks, Rodney.